Now, if you learn the two skills I'm going to show you in today's video, two skills that are not really taught on YouTube, well, the way you design stuff will never be the same ever again. The first skill is a tried and a tested method. It's a rule where it can actually be applied in many different ways on your graphic designs. And it is called the dynamic duo rule. Now, if you look at this website here, there is a clear example of the dynamic duo rule being applied on this very design. Simply by introducing a grayscale element, visual hierarchy can be enhanced in a huge way. And this is how it works. By muting one part of the composition, you can draw more attention to the colored elements. And this is a super effective and super powerful technique to use. The grayscale image alludes to the emotional side of the message of the specific design, but importantly, it helps the colorful call to action buttons stand out. And this emphasizes the action the charity and the designer wants people to make when interacting with this very design. Now, if you want to think of a simple and easy way to understand all of this, the dynamic duo rule is about having two contrasting elements that work incredibly well together, and in combination, they help push the goal or the message of your design. So if you look on this project here, you can see that some of the posters are actually in grayscale and muted down. This allows for the electric lime green of the branding to really stand out, and thus it expresses itself to the viewer in a more impactful way. So now when someone views the design, the visual identity of the brand hits you hard, and it's just unmistakable. And that's because here we have a dynamic duo of grayscale visuals with the high energy color of the brand itself. But the dynamic duo rule, it doesn't necessarily just have to be about grayscale elements on your design, or even about layout design. It's a lot more than just that. Now, if you've ever designed a logo, you might have totally missed the dynamic duo rule when working on your design. The Adidas logo features three bold, slanted stripes that create a geometric, dynamic visual effect. These stripes are often paired with simple, clean typography, and the typeface being ICT Avant-Garde. The contrast between the geometric active stripes and the straightforward text creates a balanced yet energetic look. And this, of course, embodies the brand's focus on sports and movement. The dynamic duo here helps create contrast, which leads to a nice balance within the logo. When thinking of using the dynamic duo rule, think about how and where on your design you can leverage two different elements of contrast that help work together to express the message or the goal of your design. Now, hierarchy is important. It's absolutely crucial, in fact. But what about narrative-driven hierarchy? What about that? Now, expert designers can use storytelling and hierarchy together to guide the viewer's journey through the design. And this creates a clear pathway that conveys a narrative. And this is something few people, if anybody, are talking about on YouTube. The simple premise of this technique is to determine the beginning, the middle, and the end of the story you want to tell through your design. So for example, you might have a brochure design to work on, and the story could start with the problem being identified at the beginning, presenting the product as the solution, the middle, and showcasing the benefits of that in the next step towards the end. From there, as a designer, you use headings, subheadings, images, callouts, and so on to lead the viewer through the narrative. For instance, an infographic might start with a strong headline, followed by sections that build on the narrative with supporting visuals and data. But there is another way narrative-driven hierarchy works. The Tesla Model 3 page uses narrative-driven hierarchy really well. So the page starts with a dramatic hero image of the car. This is the hook, and that's accompanied by simple, bold headlines. Now this starts the story or a narrative about a luxurious sports car. As users then scroll down, they encounter sections that explain the car's performance, the safety features, interior design, and so on, and this leads the viewer to dive deeper into the narrative of this car being desirable. Each section uses a combination of text, images, and videos to build a comprehensive narrative about the vehicle's capabilities and benefits. Narrative-driven hierarchy is expressed so clearly and so easily on this charity poster. There is a large image of a child who appears to be sad or in some kind of need of help, and the image covers the entire design and captures your attention. Then we have the title that relates to the story with context. But have you noticed the notorious UNICEF logo as it stands out at the very top? And this is because it's a color on a grey background or grey image. But also it's kind of ushering the view downwards from the top. And so finally we end up reading the caption at the very bottom. And so don't get it twisted, this isn't just hierarchy. This is hierarchy steered by narrative of sadness and desperation. And this plays on the empathy of the viewer as they move through the design. When you can build a narrative or storytelling into your hierarchy, your designs will become way more effective. And so by now, you should have a clear understanding of these two rules and how to use them on your designs for better designs. But hey, if you'd like to continue learning graphic design skills and knowledge, just click that video on screen. But until next time guys, design your future today. Peace.